And we're back. You just heard Half Wheel's song, Good Day. And right after that, you heard Wade in the Water by Miss Freddye, who is joining me now. So I don't usually do two guests in one show. So, guys, bear with me for a moment while I get my bearings on this one. Miss Freddye and I have spoken on my other podcast one time, actually right outside on the wall outside my house, which was different for me. how have you been, Freddye?
I've been pretty good, busy, and in between.
I'm sure work has not been fun for you.
Well, considering what I do, I'm an outpatient nurse, but we deal with pancreatic, colon, and rectal cancer, so it's a different kind of a thing going on. But I mean, still with the pandemic and everything, we've had to do a little, you kind of have to switch up and kind of, accommodate our patients, if anything. So, but I mean, it's still a challenge, no matter what. It's a challenge.
I don't know if you actually know this. I'm a teacher. I teach kindergarten through 8th grade. So everything that I've done has been flipped on its end as well, because
Oh, wow.
there are the kids are wearing masks. They're sitting at desks with these big plastic shields around them. They look like they're in fish
Yeah.
bowls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody can touch anything that anybody else is going to touch. It's been different this year.
Yeah, it's
Right.
very different. I mean, even at work, I work in the hospital, so everybody has to wear masks. It's pretty much status quo, it's the norm. But I didn't know you were a teacher.
Yeah.
That's
It,
cool.
it change what I teach changes every year. Sometimes it changes during the year, like this year. Um, this year
Yeah,
I'm teaching.
yeah,
I
yeah.
started out teaching science, stream, and computers, and as of last week, I now teach science, stream, computers, and Spanish.
Oh,
So
okay.
go with the
So you
flow.
are one of those versatile teachers. I like that.
Sometimes I don't have a choice.
Ah, well,
But
yeah.
all right, so let's delve into what's been going on in your world recently musically. Um, you have the new release, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but you've also just won an award in Pittsburgh. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I did. And actually, I didn't know I was nominated till somebody brought it to my attention. I got this, and I said, "Oh, I didn't know I was nominated." And so it's for the City of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh City Paper Readers Poll, and it's for the best blues performer slash blues band. And so I won. Thank you, everybody who voted. I was so shocked and I was surprised because I just go about my daily business and doing whatever I have to do, and it just came to me. So I was so happy. It was an honor. It was a true honor, and I do appreciate everyone that, like I said, who voted for me. I love you all out there. Sorry that we can't get to see each other like we used to, but that day will come. So
The cool
that's
thing
what that was for.
the cool thing about that is you didn't even get a chance to go on social media and say, "Hey, I'm up for this. Vote for me," because you didn't know, and like that's an ultimate win, because that means that you didn't even push it. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
well, you know what I did? Well, yeah, once I found out about it, I sent it to like a few people and put it on my page, but I mean, I didn't have enough time to, like you said, to like really push it. And it goes to show you that people are following me and they're waiting for the next thing, what I'm going to do. And they know I believe in what I do. It's the real deal what I do. So I try my best.
I remember the first time I saw you on stage. It was in Islin. I want to say it was Ill Fated at that time with Paul Guarini.
Oh yeah.
That was the very first time. And when you got off that stage, I was like, I'm gonna have to look into her a little more. that
Yes, that was my actually my second time, but actually my very first time singing with, well, I've sang with a rock band before, but actually to do that, and my rock name, everybody, if I ever get into rock, like heavily in it, it's Blue Gemini. So that was my name. That band helped me formed that name. They wanted to keep the blues and somewhere in the mix, and I'm like, no, because this is rock we're doing. There was so much fun for such a good cause, and they did a song that I do till this day. I love, "Gimme Shelter." We did that by the Stones. That was so cool. It was fun.
Also, I think I saw it like within the last 3 days, a thing pop up about a David Bowie tribute. What can you tell me about
that? Well, my PR guy, Michael Stover of MTS Management, he brought that to my attention, and he asked me if I was interested in doing something like that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a huge David Bowie fan. I'm not just saying that because that's what I listened to, like, when I was younger. I'm still young, but but back then, and it's a chance to, you'd pick one of the songs that David did, and you put your own spin on it. And I know sometime next year, this is all supposed to happen. So, of course, I wanted to do Fame because I'm always listening to it, but it was taken. So now everybody will know I'm going to be singing Young American, and I'm going to use a local band, and that'll be my big splash secret that's coming out, you guys. Like, just stay tuned. So I'm just waiting for a couple more members to say they're on board. I am so excited about this. I can't believe it. I'm hoping somebody videotapes it while we're, taping it, because it's just going to be.
Now I'm trying to see if I can figure out who it is. Like, which band could it be? I'm not going to guess on the air.
All I can say is, and a lot of people might know, a lot of people could probably guess this, I've sang with this band before. So just we're clear, it's not neither one of my bands, you guys. It's not. It's a band that I've sang with recently, within the last couple months. So that's all I'm giving you, because as I said, half the members are on board. I'm still waiting to hear if the other half, if they're able to do it. We've got time. We've got several months in the making. So, but a lot of people are excited. They're like, Miss Freddye doing Bowie. And I'm like, absolutely. I love David Bowie.
See, this plays directly into a question that I've been asking recently. So I don't know how familiar you are with the Foo Fighters. I almost said the Blues. I have no idea why.
Oh, I know who the Foo Fighters are.
So one of the things that happens to me all the time is if I'm on YouTube, I'll let it play through, and whatever comes up next, I'll probably play. Or if I don't want to watch, like that video starts, I'll click whatever's next, and I just keep letting it play. Yeah. No matter what I start on, I always end up watching the Foo Fighters. No matter what. I could be watching a how-to video on how to fix something on my car, and within 5 videos, I'm watching the Foo Fighters. But most of those videos, someone from the crowd ends up holding up a sign saying they want to play a song, and Dave brings them up on stage, and they play with the Foo Fighters. So my question for you is, who is your Dave Grohl? In other words, what band do you wish you could go up on stage with?
Oh, let's see. What band? All time? Does it matter if it's the past or the present?
It can be all time. So even if it's not currently possible because some of the members have passed away, you can still pick that band.
Yeah. Okay. Who do I want to go up on? Oh, well, who I listen to and I still like. Well, but then let me see. Okay, there's so many. If I had to pick a band that I would want to get up on the stage with, it would be Kiss.
Kiss?
It would be the Beatles. No,
Wait a minute. You can change.
Oh my God, I listened to Kiss. I was like a teenager.
what would your character be? What would you have on your face? That opens so many questions, Freddie. I mean,
Well,
the
you know what
demon,
would
you
be
have
on my
Star
face? I
Child.
would be like a cat. I would be a cat woman. I would. And my whiskers would be long, my eyes would be, out, and of course I'd have like, this curly wig or something on my head. But yeah, I
I,
would
I
be up on the stage with Kiss. I would.
see you opened up Pandora's box here. What's your favorite Kiss song?
It's from For Moon, Money.
Okay, and who is your favorite member of Kiss? Any iteration?
Gene.
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 See, I go back and forth. Sometimes it's Gene, sometimes it's Peter. It depends on the mood I'm in. I've met Gene Simmons.
I think really.
Yeah, I met him.
How was that?
That was back in the late 90s, and I brought my camera with me, and I had a Sony Mavica that automatically, when you took the picture, it wrote it to a mini CD disc. It was like this big. And when I got to him, that's what he wanted to know about. He wanted me to explain to him how the camera worked. So I talked to him for like 10 minutes about this camera, and then he signed a book for me, and I went to work in Kittyland because I was working in Kittyland at Kennywood then. So.
Oh wow, that's yeah.
So
if I had to pick a member, it would be.
I had a good experience with him. I've heard people that haven't, but I had a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so I kind of stopped.
It just kind of depends.
I kind of stopped you because you mentioned Kiss because you were wavering. Who were the other bands you were thinking of?
Probably the Beatles, but in particular Paul McCartney, because he's my favorite. Because my all-time favorite song by them/him is Yesterday. And when he opened up PPG Arena when it first opened, and I kept saying to my friends, I'm just here for him to sing Yesterday. Then I'm good after that. But the whole concert was great. And he got up on stage and he did Yesterday acoustically on piano. I lost my mind. I'm like, I just want to get up there. I'm like, just please let me sing, But of course, we were sitting about 20, 25 rows back, and it was okay. It was all right. But yeah,
I would held up a sign.
If I'd have thought about it, I'd have had somebody make me a neon sign. It's like, yay, can I get up there? He probably would have let me, and we had a chance to meet him, but our timing was kind of weird with our friend that knew him, and it was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? But it's a lot of other different ones, but those two.
And it's funny. It's funny that you said Paul McCartney, because one of the videos that I ended up on the other day on YouTube with Dave Grohl was about Paul McCartney.
Oh, okay.
He said he was, I'm going to retell this. And he was at a party at Paul's house, and Paul had played a song on the piano, brand new song no one had ever heard before. And he got done. And Dave said that it was a good party. And he goes, and I was kind of like, and not all there. And for those of you that are listening, I waved my hand in front of my face there, but he's talking and he said, and Paul stops his song and everybody looks at Dave and they're like, play a song. And Dave goes, I don't know how to play the piano. He goes, and then he looks around and all the guitars are left-handed because Paul's left-handed. And he's sitting there trying to figure out how he's going to get out of this. And Taylor Swift stands up and says, I'll play a song. And so he's like, so Taylor Swift saves me. So Taylor gets up and starts playing a song. And Dave, being a little out of it, he's looking at his wife and he's like, I think I know this song. And she goes, yeah, it's yours. She was playing a Foo Fighters song. So then he goes, so then I went up and I sat down beside her because I kind of felt obligated to sing with her now. And he goes, but she's singing in a beautiful petite voice and it's just beautiful. He goes, and then I'm singing in my screaming voice and I probably ruined it. But I thought that was a great story and it fit into what we were what you were mentioning. So those of you that want to check that out, because he tells it much better than I did, go to YouTube and type in Dave Grohl's Saved by Taylor Swift. You'll find it. There's a whole bunch of, he's told it on a bunch of different talk shows, and you'll find it. It's funny. All right, moving on. If you had the chance to sit down with your musical idol, and again, this could be someone who's currently alive or has passed on, who would you want to sit down with? And here's where it's tricky. I'm going to limit you to only being allowed to ask one question. What would you ask them?
Well, it would be my all-time favorite blues woman / person, Coco Taylor, who passed away June 3rd, 2009. That's my biggest influence. And my one question would be, what else do I need to do? And then out of that, I'm sure she would give me a ton of advice. What else would I need to do? And that's my all-time person I would love to sit down and talk with if I had a chance.
Before we're getting close to that time deadline that I gave us, and I want to make sure that we talk about Wade in the Water. So what can you tell me about the track? We just heard it like 15 minutes ago, but what can you tell me about it?
Yeah. So it was produced by Michael Morgan out of Ohio. He approached me. I thought originally I was going to do a song on a CD project he had, but that wasn't it. He wanted to showcase my voice singing an old spiritual, and he told me pick it, and I picked it. And Jay Vernali out of Nashville, Tennessee, he did the arrangement. I loved that Hammond B3 effect. And they got Kim Parent, who does wonderful backup vocals on there. So, I picked that song because of what we're going through in this world right now. This whole pandemic has changed a lot of mindset. So it was a type of song that slaves, sang. It was their way of communicating. And it's like, I'm not thinking of mankind as, well, we are in some kind of slavery because we're, all this is going on, but maybe give some kind of hope through this type of a song to let people know that there is still some kind of hope. Just follow the path of the waiting, of the water as you're wading through it. The water represents trouble. And it can be chilly and cold. When it says Jordan's water is chilly and cold, it can be chilly and can be cold, but, keep going because there's something that's coming that's going to help you. So that's where it came from.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about the history of the song? You were telling me off the air.
Yeah. So I used to sing this as a child, but as I became older and, recently, I didn't know this song was old. A musician friend was telling me that it probably even dates back in the 1800s, but really don't know who wrote the song. So it was published in 1901 and got recorded in the 1920s. And then different gospel, blues, rock artists have done this song, many different ways. I do it with both of my bands, but singing it this way, it's the way that I kind of sang it like how I grew up listening to. So, but yeah, it's an old song. I would love to. I like doing investigating things, like finding out things, and that's one of my goals before I leave this planet is to actually find out where this song originated.
That would be awesome. If you figure it out, pass it on. I'm interested now.
Absolutely. And somebody who might be listening to us or watching us might say, hey, I know who wrote that. I'm like, okay, because I can't find it. And I have people that's what they do for a living. 2 friends that I know, and they both came up with 1901. It was published, but the author is unknown. So
I'm going to give you 2 more quick questions. The
okay.
The next to last one is, what is something about you that your fans probably don't know and would be surprised to find out about you because it's not on your social media? And it can't be the nurse thing because we gave that up already.
It's not. The only way they knew. Something about personally or professionally or
that's totally up to you.
Actually, I still have stage fright, people. Big time.
I would have never.
I still have stage fright.
Wow.
A lot of people just, you should see the deer in the headlight. Get the deer in the headlight. I said, yeah, there's a story behind that. And I said, and a lot of my musician friends who have known me since '96 can tell you it's a true story. I used to sit behind the very first band in '96. I dated the bass player, and I would sit behind the band while they faced the audience. I'd sit in a chair, face the wall. I did that for a year. That's how scared to death I was.
Wow.
No way on this planet could you get me to sing in front of people. I'm like, no, not me. Scared to death. Don't like, And then my mentor told me, you got to come out of that. And I did. It took me a while. And then several years ago, I just made up my mind. I'm like, pretend it's me sitting in the audience. And I'm saying to you, look, I've spent all this money to come and see you. You at least keep me here for an hour. You entertain me, make me feel good. And it works.
Maybe you should have been a grunge singer. You could just stare at your feet. Put on some flannel, stare at your feet.
I don't think I could. Yeah.
Last question, Freddie. This is probably the easiest one. Where can we find you online?
Oh my gosh, you can go to my website, www.missfreddye.com. Miss Freddye, MISSFREDDYE. Hit me up on Twitter at Freddie17, or you can go to my Instagram page, Miss Freddie's Blues or Freddie Stover. Find me. Check me out, you guys.
And you won't regret it.
Oh,
she's
and
you'll be live.
Oh, thanks. And I'm looking forward. I have another single that'll be coming out next year.
Well, make sure that I know so that I can add it to this radio station and we can do this again. So for those of you I do want to mention this is episode number 542 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Make sure you check us out each and every Friday when we release our next show. You go to PARockshow.com or buildthescene.com. Freddie, I want to thank you for coming on again.
Oh, thank you. And you're very welcome. I really appreciate it.
And what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to some more of the best unsigned rock, metal, and gospel that Pennsylvania has to offer. And you'll know that we're on our way out when you hear John Lane come on and do the outro. That's the American Hilljack. We'll catch you next week at 8 p.m. on buildthescene.com, 6 a.m. on the website, and on all our streaming stations that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you go to MissFreddye.com to find out what else she has going on. As you can see, she has lots of awesome stuff going on. So make sure you check that out. My name is Bill, and we'll see you next time.